All right, no doubt.
All right, welcome back to My Life, Sam Radford. All right, on this episode, we have Atlanta legend, Ness Lee. So, Ness, all right, he's been in the game forever. He was signed to Interscope. He was a character in a basketball game in the early 2000s. He's been battled in South Africa, Australia, England, all over the States. His music is popping. He's a big inspiration to me, and he's my first Atlanta guest. So, thanks for being on, Jeron.
Salute, man. Salute. I appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
So, a quick little intro that I always do is just what made you fall in love with hip hop? What was that undefined, distinct moment that it clicked in your head that this is me?
Oh man, I've never been asked that question. Oddly enough, man. Man, I was introduced to hip hop in Germany. Man, my father was in the army, so one of the first hip hop songs I ever heard was "Push It," and I think it intrigued me because they did the odd scratching in there. I had no idea what that was, so I was like, why are these girls' voices sounding like this? Whenever they did the sort at the end of the song. So I think just the intrigue from the nuances and the different things you can do with the sound and all sorts of things, and I think that's the original thing that brought me in. And then eventually I just started to nerd out and get on the lyrics and stuff, and
And that's a great answer because, like, with you, your lyricism is so different than others. And what I love with your lyricism, whether it be in a battle or a song, sometimes you'll be confused and think a line's ending, but then it completely makes itself make sense at the end of a line. It's like
yeah.
watching like a movie, and the movie, the whole time, the plot, you're like, what is this plot? And then at the end of it, it all makes sense at the end. I don't know if that's how you think your rhymes are, but I love it because every time you think like it might be slowing down, it picks itself right back up and references it to the first bar that you had. And that's kind of what I love about your style.
I mean, I didn't notice that until, people in battle rap had to tell me. They had to bring it to my attention. I just thought that's how I was supposed to write. I just thought that's how I wrote, and then, people bring that to my attention and say that it's different. It's like, okay, I guess I do got my own little thing going on there, man. That's dope. It's dope that people can see that, man.
For sure, man. And actually, what I think is a pretty cool exclusive that we're going to have for this podcast, I think, is Germany. So when did you live in Germany, man? Like, was your dad in the army? What was going on?
Yeah, man, exclusive. Yeah, so my pops was in the army. When I was 5, I remember. I don't know if I remember time as well as it happened, but I just remember turning 5 and then moving straight to Germany. That's all I remember. And so my father was in the army, and that was one of his first tours. He took me and the family over there, and that's where I was introduced to hip hop, man. That's where I fell in love with this thing, man. I remember around that time, in Germany, it wasn't Jordans that was hot. It was like the joints that looked like Jordans. I forget what they were called, but it was the red and white joints with the black symbol on it. And I didn't know what a Jordan was till I moved back to the States in like '89, man.
That's wild. So we'll call Ness Lee, aka Jeron. We'll call him the Shaq of battle rap and rap because everybody knows that Shaq was in Germany with his pops back in the day, and then he came to the States and became a beast. So,
hey, that's a double entendre right there. Shaq is my third cousin, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How did I? There's another exclusive. Wow.
That's a bar.
Bro, I'm surprised you haven't used that as a bar yet,
Nah, because he don't even know it, man. He's so popular, but, people always tell me when I'm playing ball, they're like, yeah, man, that's Baby Shaq right there. I'm like, if you only knew.
That's hilarious. I used to always tell people that I was African, and like I had to have this like realization when I was like 9 years old, and my mom was like, Sam, like that's not appropriate for what you're saying. You're white, and the people that were white in Africa weren't the good ones.
I never thought about that before.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that I was actually thinking when I was looking up your catalog is you've battled in every British torn place, whether it be Australia, Britain, or South Africa. But so let's speak about the history. I go all over. I'm too excited right now, so it's kind of tough. But so I like to speak about freestyle because you've been around forever. You were around during the WRCs. My fans and listeners know about all that era. But what was the Atlanta freestyle scene like? I don't know much about the Atlanta freestyle scene pre-seeing the World Rap Championships there in 07.
Man, so freestyle wasn't it wasn't a cool thing to do in the South, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, freestyle battling. Like if we was freestyling, we was like, you know, we was talking some silky flossy type shit. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't battling nobody. And, you know, as soon as you started with the battle shit, you know, they kind of turn and look at you. Oh, you come with that battle shit, man. We rapping over here. We just rap, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I guess that kind of turned into a thing where we didn't really film our battles out here so much. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of events. We had a lot of big events. We had a lot of fests. We had a lot of tournaments, but we never really filmed it like that. And I think that was a huge disservice to, you know, the history of battle rap in the South, because we would have a lot more legends out here if that were a thing, you know. But like it was, if you ask anybody from the Atlanta scene that came up in like from the 99 to '07 era, anytime you was battling it at any club, everybody screaming, no cameras, no cameras, no cameras, no YouTube footage, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? So we just thought that's what it was. We just thought it was a, you know, all right, well, if that's what it is, I'm still going here and do my shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's different. That's odd. And it's funny you say that too, because in any scene back in the day, you'll find at least a couple rappers that became in the mainstream, and like maybe they weren't like known about back in the day, but even your battle partner in WRCs was Jeron Benton, who went on to have a career as a rapper, and probably a lot of his fans don't know him as a rapper.
Right. Yeah, man.
Or sorry, a battle rapper. Probably his fans don't know his rap. My bad. But yeah, like a lot of people who listen to him probably don't know that that's how he came up, you know?
Nah, man. And it's funny because, you know, everything online turns into a competition. So they might, a lot of his fans dislike me whenever they come across those WRC battles. They're like, oh, Jeron is way better than this Ness Lee trash ass cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, just see in the comments. It's just funny as hell that they turn everything into, it's like they ain't even know we damn near grew up together. You know what I'm saying? Like we came up on this rap shit together. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just odd that that's one of the first times in '07. That's when the WRC was. That was one of the first times we ever had a collective idea to, not a collective idea, but like we all just let somebody film us like that. You know, we just weren't used to that. You know,
it's funny. And like, cause I wish on my side, cause I'm a younger kid who like learned battling on the internet, but like for me, what was so cool, which is now like, I wish I saw stuff before '07, but from the WRCs in '07, you had people like Jeron Benton. You had one of the dudes who was one of the heads of Grind Time after that. You had Sonny Bamboo, who you guys have been in ATLian Workshop together, which is one of my favorite like little rap groups in ATL from back then.
Right.
You know, so it's cool to see that evolve. You know, it's so funny when you speak to people and like battle rap and rap is such a small community, whereas like no matter where you are in the world, there's going to be somebody who you can relate to in a sense, you know?
Oh man, I always tell people that battle rap in itself is the biggest frat in all of the world, man. It's the biggest frat in the world, man. Like, God forbid I get into a plane crash somewhere in Argentina and I end up with internet access, and I post on Facebook, hey, what's up, y'all? I don't know where I am. I think I'm in Argentina. You're gonna have 5 people under the post like, yo, you one of my favorite battle rappers, come to the crib.
I always tell this story, and like one of my fans who's like a reoccurring listener, he's like, dude, you can't tell it every time. But I'm like, well, every guest hasn't listened to every podcast. But when I was in England in like 2012, I was visiting my granddad for the first time, and I needed weed, and I hit up this girl who had a battle on Don't Flop, and I only knew like because her like when they show the intro, it shows where you're from. So I hit her up. I'm like, okay, she's from where my granddad's from. Boom, boom, hit her up, got weed right away. You know?
Wow, that's crazy. That's called using resources, baby.
Yeah, bro, battle rap. So actually, what just sparked in my head during this beginning is we speak about how Atlanta didn't get a lot of shine on camera and stuff. But also a lot of people don't know, if they're not like a big fan of you, is that you were signed to Interscope. You did have a big single called Ollie Ollie Oxen Free. And you were in a big battle tournament on TV that was on Showtime.
Right.
And so tell me about, like, that's kind of a broad starting of different questions, but what was it like for you to get on the Showtime show, and how did that come to be?
Man, that was a last minute type thing, man. I just remember I was coming from playing ball one day. This was like 2002, almost 20 years ago. and I get a call from my manager. This is when I was really smacked. I really got into the freestyle scene in Atlanta in like 2000, but 2001 is when I made my splash. 2002 is when I was that dude you had to see, you know. So any opportunities that came around the city came to me. I remember it came to me and a couple other people, like a guy named Issues. He was in WRC, you know, a few others. But I remember I was coming from playing ball, and breathing hard, everything. My manager, Fort Knox, calls me, "Hey, yo, son, hey, yo, freestyle on the phone right now. I got somebody on the phone right now, son." Everybody who knows Fort Knox is gonna die laughing at that. He ain't even explaining what it is. He just said, "Yo, freestyle right now." So I'm like, all right, breathing hard, freestyling, rapping. They're like, "Oh, that was cool. All right, so rap about this now." They gave me some topic, and I rap for about 20 seconds. Then he cuts me off. "Hey, that was cool, man. We want you to be on this TV show, man." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, cool." You always hear, you know, opportunities, so you don't really get too happy about it. And it ends up being the absolute first battle rap reality show to ever be filmed. It was called The Next Episode. And Interscope are the ones who put it together. And, you know, contrary to a lot of people's belief, everybody who was a part of the show was signed to it. You know, like you couldn't, it was 10 contestants. And to be a part of the show, to be a contestant, you had to sign to Interscope. So it wasn't a whole winners got a deal thing. It was, you know, you had to sign because you were going to get some kind of notoriety from the show. They didn't want you to just, you know, use their name and then bounce off and then, you know, have a cool career or whatnot, you know. But yeah, it was a dope and learning experience. It was a dope experience, and it was a learning experience, you know what I'm saying? Because it was my first time seeing how I don't want to say the powers that be. It sounds conspiracy theorish, but I don't even know if theorish is a word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But it was my first time to see from the inside how sometimes the media will manipulate things to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Because so what they did is they came to the crib and they came to 5 different cities, 2 rappers in each city. In this city, it was me and this dude named Tone Smoke on Shout to Smoke. And they would follow us around for a week. They wouldn't let us know who each other was. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they would follow us as we do our daily thing. If we go into a show, if we working, if we selling drugs, whatever, they'll follow us with the cameras on. At the end of the week, we would come together and we finally meet and we would battle. So my week was planned out ridiculous. I ain't worked none that week. I did all music shit, recorded songs. I battled, I performed, I battled like 3 times, killed like 3 different people. Actually, no, I battled on MC War on one of the nights. So we had like a little tournament where I just ran through like everybody, battled a couple other nights. I played ball with Jagged Edge. Like it was a really lit week, man. I had wild performances. But what they did, because I was such a soft spoken and kind of, you know, mild mannered guy, is that's not marketable. You know what I'm saying? The guy who's mild mannered, but he's wild, not wild, but like very boisterous when he raps. They took all that positive shit out. They took all the music shit out and solely focused on the problems I was having at home. Solely focused on it. It made me look depressed. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they took anything I had to do with music, they took that out. They took any battle rap shit out. It was wild. You know, I was with a girl at the time who cheated on me, who was pregnant with the guy's baby, who she cheated on me with. They interviewed her. It was wild, bro. It was wild. So, you know, I was telling them how at one point I lived in my car. They made it seem like I was living in my car at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it was a learning experience, but you know, I gained a lot of knowledge from there, man. And I appreciate it.
It's a fucked up thing, and I wasn't even going to mention this on the podcast, but recently, one of my best friends, little brothers, was shot and killed.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
And in the article, all they mentioned, I'm from Canada, so CBC is our biggest news outlet, so they always
Right.
The only thing they touched on was a previous charge he had as that was acquitted. They didn't touch on the positive things he did as a child, the positive things that he spread across his community and his family. And it's funny how the media, they do this in every sense to turn things negatively. And it just is a case in point of how fucked up life is. And I just want to say rest in peace to my friend's brother. And the world's so fucked up, man. It's the same thing as if you read anything about any of the cases about cops killing black kids or anything. Like it's just, I'm sorry to touch on that, but I just wanted to, like, if it's just so fucked up that, like, look at what happened. Like, what could have made you, the narrative was completely differentiated, right? Like, they reality TV showed you, you know, they didn't.
They cooked.
Well, like, man, fuck them, bro. It's all good. You at least you got that on your, you know, I went to I was at Interscope.
Right. But
rest
in peace to your friend's brother, by the way, man.
He's a strong dude, man. It's just a fucked up world we live in too, man. The funeral got broken up too because of COVID, and it's fucked up shit, bro. You know.
Wow.
But yeah, on a lighter note, like, let's talk about So we'll speak about battle rap, but I just love Jeron's music. So one of my favorite songs is "I Am the South," and I've been a fan of that. I was literally after the thing happened. We all gathered as friends, and we're, you know, when you and your homies just hang out and just listen to music videos and like, yo, I got next. I put on "I Am the South" because I was like, yo, I'm interviewing this guy soon. And like, bro, the amount of love that you got, like, my one boy who doesn't know rap that well, and he's only been in Canada for a few years. So he's like a Nav fan and a Tory Lanez fan.
Nice.
He was like, man, what's this? And then my other friend was like, bro, he's saying a lot of shit. And then when the whole thing, so there's a great music video if people want to listen and watch "I Am the South." But Jeron speaks about how the Atlanta scene at the time isn't looked upon. And he has this whole conversation with his buddies about how he did a freestyle for a guy with a camera, and the guy pretended to record him, and then once he heard him rap, he was like, oh, I'm gonna actually record you now, and didn't show him the respect. And then in like another scene in the same situation, he sings to a lady walking down the street to show his versatility. So like, but also "I Am the South" to me represents a lot that at the time in 2011 when it was released, before the boom in Atlanta, music, it was a great representation of the city.
Right. Thank you.
What was your thought process in making the song? Because to me, it's a huge deal. It's more than just a song to me. At the end, there's an amazing part of a speech. I can't quote what speech it is, but it's like one of the most touching speeches I've ever heard. So I'm rambling before I'm letting him answer, but I just want him to know everything that I'm telling him before I ask him.
Nah, man. The end, it was actually a spoken word from my homeboy Abyss, man. Shout out to Abyss. He's the only person I let ever do spoken word on any of my shit, man.
I'm gonna interject before he explains everything. It sounded like something. It sounded like a speech from the Martin Luther King era. Like it's with the video. He has a video of old things, old civil rights things from back in the day. And to me, it tears your heartstrings apart. Sorry, I just want to let go after that.
No. See, so that's the vibe that I was going for. That's why I only let Abyss do spoken word on my shit, because he has a preacher voice, you know, and he really sounds like somebody who's supposed to be talking to you from you know, like the 60s and 50s, you know. But "I Am the South" was it was my take on the South, because it's like when you look at the video, it's undoubtedly South. It's undoubtedly Southern, you know, but it's also a different side of the South. It's a side where, you know, like, it's catchy. It's a catchy song, but I'm still giving you bars in there. I'm still giving you content. I'm still giving you cadences. I'm still giving you all the stuff that you like, but you can also take something home with you from the stuff that I'm saying, you know? So it's really just, you know, at the beginning, shout out to my homeboy Nimi Hendrix, man. He used to be a battle rapper. He was insane, by the way. He's the one that shot the video. At the beginning, he had the idea where it's like, all right, so why don't you have a part where it looks like you're standing in the same place on the camera, you know, but it's kind of flashing back and forth between you standing like in front of an old beat down slave house and then a new, very nice big house, you know what I'm saying, kind of flashing back and forth, showing the duality of what you do and what the South actually is, because the South is only shown in one light. They only know, you know, on when you hear anybody Southern on the radio, and you only hear folk that talk like this right here, you know what I'm saying? You only hear that, so people only think that's the majority of people down here, and that's what we do. So, you know, it was just my spin on, like, listen, I know what you know. I know what you think the South is, but it's not that. You know, it's not just that. It's that, but we got this as well. You can't talk crazy to us about lyricism. You can't talk crazy to us about, like knowledge or anything. Like we're not being born in the South isn't a handicap. You're not slower because you're born in the South. You know, so I mean, it's just that's just if I could put all that into 4 minutes, that's what that song was.
And it was a catchy song, a song that makes you understand certain things you never knew before, a song that shows you certain things you've never known before, and a song that shows you the differentiation between the upper class, the middle class, the lower class. He's speaking about a transition shot where he's rapping in front of a house and there's a piano being played behind him. And what I love as a movie buff and a film buff is in the song, the transition is him in front of a down bad house, a house that's well off, and back and forth. And also the verse in that part of the song speaks upon the reasoning in why that shot was said. And in a sense, if you delve into things as much as I do, but
right.
what you spoke on, I would like to ask you a question about. This is a personal opinion. I've been speaking for about like this last 6 years, but
All right.
to me, Atlanta was so amazing in the '90s. You had the Dungeon Crew recording in that house, and you had Outkast and everybody. I don't obviously
Right, right,
but
right,
then
right.
in the 2000s there was kind of a lull, like after a couple, like the dude that Mike Jones was supposed to battle in that random league, the Bone Crusher guy.
Bone Crusher,
And,
yeah.
and then now I think the whole entire music industry steals Atlanta's sound. I think everybody's
Absolutely.
trying to. And so when you were releasing these songs, to me, it was so integral because it was the in between.
Right,
And
right.
and to me, like, even though people may not say it or respect it, but I think you are part of that Atlanta resurgence. And
Oh man, I appreciate that.
and just what do you think about the difference? Like, what do you think was done differently for Atlanta to get that light shown on them they never had? Even though there's that amazing moment with Outkast at the award show speaking
Right.
the South doesn't get enough love, but they never
Right.
really did get enough love until the last 8 or 9 years.
So
That's my personal
it
opinion.
goes, no, that's real. That's real. A lot of people will say that it's hard to not get love if you're going diamond. But they were going diamond in the era that where people could go diamond. You know what I'm saying? You put out a record and you go and you sell a few million records because that's what we're listening to at the time. But it wasn't because they were just the most beloved artists of all time. So yeah, what you're saying is making sense. I do think that there was a bit of tampering going on with the South's stronghold on hip hop. So when I say that, I'm not saying it from a malicious place. I'm saying it from a place of that the quote unquote powers that be know that the perception, puppy, chill out. That they know that the consensus perception of the South is that we're slow, So they think we can only make crunk trap music, blah blah blah. Outkast was an aberration, you know what I'm saying? So what they do is they start focusing solely on the South until the South becomes the standard for music, for hip hop, until that becomes the standard for music as a whole, hoping that the quote unquote, slow part, less educated part of the South is what's going to permeate, the minds of the impressionable, you know what I'm saying, and affect us in that way. So, and ultimately, make people a little bit less thoughtful through music, through hip hop. But what actually ended up happening is they made the world more musical. You know what I'm saying? And they made people dance more, and they made, a lot of people will say the South ruined hip hop and whatever, but I feel like we kept it moving. Whatever they tried to do with it, I don't think it worked. I don't think it worked. It worked in our favor, but there has been a lack of balance in the mainstream as far as lyricism and things like that. But then it's hard to also say that in the same breath when you have people like J. Cole from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I used to live there as well, went to school there. You know what I'm saying? Some people think I influenced him. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like he was an extension of myself. I don't think I had any kind of bearing on that man's sound. He was completely himself. That man came from the South, came up, grew up, and became the lyricist he is just from being from where he was from. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of Big Crit, same thing, you know. Jeron Benton. I mean, of course, I had a little influence on him, but Jeron was a monster before we ever started doing music together. You know what I'm saying? Making his own beats. Like he helped influence me to make my own beats. Sold me my first keyboard. You know what I'm saying? Back in '99. Sold me my first keyboard. You know what I'm saying? For $35. Yeah, man. It was definitely a time where it was only dance songs and crunk songs being pushed. But all that did was open the door for the underground, SoundCloud, SoundClick, whatever, and YouTube. You know, that opened the door for people in my position to run their own lives musically. You know what I'm saying? Like I can put out a project right now, never touch radio, and make just as much money as someone you hear on the radio every day. That's all they did. They broke down their own industry and gave us back the power pretty much.
No, that's a great answer. And actually, I recently watched something. I can't remember what it was, but they're not from North Carolina or Atlanta, but 3-6 Mafia, who's from the South. Like they had their own sound. But I recently found out things that ASAP Rocky and his famous song Goldie completely had 3 or 4 bars that were from a 3-6 Mafia song, as well as Drake and one of Drake's bigger songs too. And people say they're paying homage, but to me, the style back then is the style now, and I think that speaks volumes on Atlanta hip hop, because you are being humble with saying like Atlanta, like now like people aren't saying lyrical, but like look back at like the Jermaine Dupri era and shit. Like, bro, I'm a white guy from Canada, and fucking Little John on our dance nights in grade 7, that was it, bro. Sweat was dropping down our balls heavy.
Right.
But no, I get you. I get what you mean too, and I think but a big thing with is rap has changed so much. Is I'm 27, but I'm like a very old head at heart. Like my favorite rapper is Phife Dawg, and like I'm a big fan. And so when I hang out with all my friends who are like, most of my friend group are about like 22-year-olds, and they're all fans of all the new stuff, like Polo G, Pop Smoke, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Lil Durk and everything. And like to me, they're telling me like, oh, he's barring out right now. And I'm like, is he really barring out right now? Like, but the thing is that in my head, I got to understand I'm the one person out of these 5 people that is disagreeing. So there's obviously has to be an appeal to this person.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, that's something that I had to learn, man. Like I used to be a lyric snob, man. I wouldn't listen to anything that wasn't bar heavy back in the day. My favorite rappers was Cannabis and Wu-Tang and Eminem. And I still appreciate all of those styles of music, but I also appreciate a wider spectrum of music now. So what I do to keep myself sane is I separate it all. If you tell me somebody's the best lyricist, I listen to them from a mind frame of a lyricist. You know what I'm saying? If you tell me somebody has the best cadences and like, turn up songs, I listen to it from that perspective. You're not gonna tell me that a YFN Lucci is gonna outbar a Ness Lee. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna tell me that. You're not gonna tell me that a Ness Lee is gonna pack a club like a YFN Lucci. You know what I'm saying? You just got to look at things for what they are, man. Like I love, a lot of people didn't like Triple X Tentacion and his music, but if you take a deep delve into it, that man really was talking, man. Like, and he talks for it.
He really was. And what you're saying is, it makes sense. Like I was saying, like I'm in a sense I'm a hater because like I expect a certain thing like you lyrically, but one of my favorite artists ever right now is Juice WRLD. And funny enough, I had Lush One on, and I'm a big Lush One music fan.
Right.
And I think Juice WRLD and Lush One, like 20 something years apart, completely different backgrounds. I feel they are so much of a similar artist in a sense with how they speak
Absolutely.
upon what they do and their cadence, and they can go from singing to rapping to just
Absolutely.
any emotion. So it's funny you say that, because I know I agree with that. And also upon that is when you're comparing like a Ness Lee to a this or a that. I grew up as a battle rap fan and like a lyric fan. So when people were saying Lil Wayne's lines like "I'm the bomb," like "tick tick," or "real
Right.
G's move in silence like lasagna," like that pissed
Right.
me off as a
Right.
teenager.
Right. Right.
Because
Right. Right.
that's why I always had a resentment to that type of rap for a while. You know, like if I want
Right.
to lay the tray down in a lunch line, I don't want to fucking watch that in a battle. You know, but but let's go on from my hater era. But so you've battled in Oakland, you've battled in Atlanta, you've battled in Connecticut, you've battled in Canada, you've battled in England, you've battled in South Africa, you've battled in Australia. I've spoken to many people about the North American thing. What was it like in South Africa and what was it like in Australia?
Oh man, South Africa is so dope. It's ridiculous, man. So before when I announced that I'm going there, I'm getting all sorts of messages from people out there, and they're like, "Yo, it can get wild out here, man. Like, don't go anywhere by yourself. If you have your phone out and you're by yourself, man, just look out. Somebody might jump out a tree, hit you in the head with a brick, take your phone." I'm like, okay, so I'm hearing all these types of stories, so I'm preparing myself for how crazy it could get when I'm out there. But then they also tell me that it's filled with love and things like that. So, just pretty much keep your head on the swivel. So when I get there, I'm coming from the hotel and I start walking to look for something to eat. And I'm walking up the street, and at the end of the street, which is about maybe 50 yards, 75 yards away, there's a KFC on the corner. So as I'm walking, yeah, it's a KFC in South Africa, man.
Wow. That's what got me. I thought that was a story.
Nah, so I'm walking up the sidewalk, and at this KFC that's up this way, I see like 6, 7 guys walk out, and they're walking across the street this way. I'm walking towards them. They're walking across the street, that way. And they look at me, they look at each other, and then they change their direction and start walking towards me. So all I'm thinking is, shit, somebody jump out of a tree, hit you in the head with a brick. Shit, man, if you by yourself, they might jump you. Shit, that's all I'm thinking. And, so I put my hands in my coat pocket like I got something. And that doesn't turn them around at all. They keep on, they keep coming towards me. So then you start to think, all right, at some point, I'm a big dude, they are pretty slim. I'm either swing on all of them or I'm gonna run. So as they get a little closer, I'm trying to make my decision. My decision is made. I'm about to run. As soon as I'm about to turn around, they all scream, "Ness Lee! Yo, we came to see you do your thing this Saturday." I'm like, yo, these dudes is fans, man. I'm in South Africa, 24 hours away from my home on a plane ride. And these dudes see me on the street and know my face. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here thinking about swinging on them or running from them. You know what I'm saying? But the whole trip was like that, dog. Whole trip was like that, man. Just love from everywhere. I ain't seen none of this stuff they talking about, jumping out of trees, hitting you in the head with bricks. I ain't seen none of that. I seen love from everywhere, man. The food was amazing. The women have the biggest booties on the planet. It's like the ass to waist ratio in South Africa is insane. That's where the big booty woman originated. You can't tell me anything different. But man, listen, they are so in tune with bars and our culture out here. It's crazy, man. Like I stayed downtown, and their downtown looks no different from any downtown here. From the stuff you see on TV, nah, dog. Like ain't no dirt roads and shit like that. It's like it's all industrial. It looks exactly like how it would look over here, man. It's really dope, man. And we don't get to see, the lion's share of it from where we are. Australia was much of the same thing, just from white people and not black people. You know what I'm saying?
You had a funny line. I was watching your battle versus Jay Legend today, and you said like it's the most comfortable I've felt around a whole room of white people in a long time.
Hey man, those folks, man, they show so much love. It's ridiculous, bro. Like, it was so wild because the city and where was I? I was in Brisbane. I think I was in Brisbane.
Brisbane, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm talking about the building structure down to the cars looked like South Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like they had the same type of vehicles and everything, man. It looked just like South Africa, man. It was wild.
It's all the British.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, it was dope, man. Dope experience. And one of my other dopest experiences was battling in Sweden. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not they took that battle down for some
See,
reason.
that's the thing. I was looking up because I mean, when I was a teenager was when like the my big like what I say is like 2012, around 2012, years before and after were the peak of battle rap. And so I
Right.
was looking up your verse track and I was like, I thought he battled in Sweden, but I couldn't find it.
Right. Yeah, that got taken down somehow. But yeah, I battled out there and it was a wild event, man. I'm talking about they had all the battlers booked, me, Arsenal, Pat Stay. They brought Arsenal out there just to be there, just to watch. They brought Organic out there just to watch. I don't think Ilmac battled. The Source battled, Pat Stay battled, Roan battled, myself, Dirtbag Dan. It was so lit. And aside of that, they brought out like Dub C. They brought out Paul Wall, Freeway. They brought
Yak
out
the Ripper.
yeah.
Yeah.
They brought out the Alcoholics. It was so wild, bro. Like it was so dope, man.
And what was so cool?
Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know what I'm saying?
It's so funny. I was talking to my brother earlier about interviewing you today because like he knew some battle rap, and then what did he say? He was talking about Atlanta. He doesn't know. He was like, yeah, Bone Thugs are from Atlanta. No, and I was like, no, my friend, no. And then he started mentioning drill music, and I was like, all right, so you don't know anything about Atlanta music at all. But no, what's your reference?
Cleveland.
What's your exactly Cleveland, right? Shout out to like Twista and shit too from Chicago with the whole battle back in the day. But what's so cool about those events in Sweden that I saw it was like a Renaissance era hip hop event in Northern Europe.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. Like it was my first time experiencing the whole groupies everywhere and fans everywhere, just all outside the hotel type thing, man. It was wild, man.
There you go. Really now you can get back on that girl you caught. Now you can get
It was wild, man. I still keep in contact with a few of the women I met out there, man.
There you go. It's so funny in battle rap too. There's women are famous because they're so scarce and far in between.
Right.
Everybody knows each woman in battle rap, you know?
Facts. That's exactly how it goes, man. It's a big sausage game in here, man. Pause, but
it sure
sausage factory everywhere in battle rap, man. I'm glad there's starting to be more females involved, man. Shout out Hope Trilly, man. She's dope if you've never seen her before.
Oh, there you go, bro. Well, shout out to the girl who got me weed in England.
Hey.
So I like to sometimes be very relatable, and this is kind of a more say depressing bar, but to me it's very close to home. And so Jeron has a song called the Reality of Jeron, and he went through all this stuff in the music industry that we've spoken about, right? And this line always hits close to home to me. He's actually kind of spoken about it in the interview a bit, how at one point in life he was living in a car and like, you know, like you just like when things are down, and so when you're at your rock bottom, there's only up from there. And so it's not the same situation that people face, but you can always relate in music. So I'm just going to spit these few lines or read out these few lines very arrogantly, and then I'm going to give you my opinion and ask you your perspective.
No doubt.
So he goes in is, you ever had a house with 4 wheels and a floor, a speedometer up in the dash, plus runs off gas? Wall's window held a picture with no nails. I had central heat, but the window was cold still. No black box where I'm getting my own meal. My address was my license plate. And then he speaks on to the car breaking down, and he has to take a bus to work. And to me, this is something that a lot of people wouldn't want to speak about, and you're so vulnerable at that point. But to me, speaks volumes on the artist you are and how real you are. And how that song was almost like in my eyes, I feel that song is like a piece of your past that is a chapter in your life. And whether it be a negative chapter or a positive chapter, it changed you for the positive and the upside. And so what was that song like for you? And maybe if you want to speak on those lines a bit as well.
Uh, those I think those are like the most popular bars from maybe from that album, from that whole album, man. A lot of people message me to this day about those bars, man, whether they went through it or they didn't. For some reason it connects with them, and I'm just appreciative that something that I went through, that I was able to voice on a record, could touch somebody like that, man. It was I had an 89 Firebird, and at that time I was living with my godmother. This was a little bit before the TV show. So I was living with my godmother, and we weren't on the greatest terms. My parents were living in a hotel. They were living in a extended stay hotel at the time. So can't go live with them in the hotel. My sister, she's in the war. You know what I'm saying? So, all my friends either at that time were living with their parents, or they had their own situation going on. So me not wanting to, put anybody in or try to make myself a burden on anybody, I stayed in my car, stayed in my Firebird, man. And I mean, it wasn't that long, maybe a couple months, but the shit felt like forever. You know what I'm saying? And that was I wasn't even gonna make that song, man. My partner at the time, Shun Jester, we used to run a label called Soul Rush back in the day. He's like, yo, man, why don't you just take like 4 minutes and make a song of everything that happened between your last album and now? You know what I'm saying? Like no hook, maybe until the end. You know what I'm saying? Cooler, introspective beat, and call it Reality of Jeron. So like this was all his idea. You know what I'm saying? So I sat down, made the beat, and one day came home from work. My girl was asleep in the living room, and I just wrote the song, man. It just came to me all in, a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like songs like that write themselves, when they're that honest, you know.
I think it's the train of thought, and when you sit down, the whole train of thought is let out on that whole song,
Yeah, yeah.
And what he's spoken about too is he mentions his sister being in the war and his parents living hotel to hotel, and he has a line that said, "People, I'm signed to Interscope, yet I'm still broke,"
Right,
and just that is the reality. And what I love about that is it's just you being you, and even
right.
though it's a bad part of life, but it's showing like a lot of rappers have this bravado and this alpha nature where like they don't want to show anything about them. But the thing is, to me, is in the songs with the reality of Jeron, I Am the South, even the Loaded Lux diss and things like that,
Mm,
or even your feature on the Ilmac song, Lost Our Souls, when you were singing.
right.
It's just an amalgamation of how great of an artist you are and how you're willing to just put your artistry out there and let people just take it for what it is.
Thank you, man. That means a lot, bro.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
that's why I have you on, my guy. Like, um, I just actually I wanted to ask you too because I think it's so cool because in your songs you do switch from rapping to singing, which is now the biggest thing, but you were doing it at such an early level.
Right.
What brought you to do the song with Ilmac, and what made him ask you to do the song um, as a feature for singing? Because before I speak on that, I also want to say that with the reality of Jeron, sorry, is even on a sunny day, eventually it fades away. Life goes
Yeah.
on. That's one of my favorite like samples in a song. And
Really?
so, yes, man. And you're saying like you didn't use a lot of hooks in that, but to me,
Right.
that's a great thing. And when my girl the other day, I'm listening to it, she's still saying it today. Eventually, it fades
Wow.
away. And so, yeah. So first, like, if you want to speak on that sample, sorry, my things are so wide.
Nah, nah, nah.
But
Nah,
if you
you
want to speak
good.
on that sample and then how you got to sing on the Ilmac song when you're such a bar guy, but you're
Right.
obviously an amazing singer and melody person as well.
Ah, man, I appreciate that, man. I really think the singing just came from my mom and coming up in the church, man. Just, you know, I, it's the same story with a lot of people who sing, just coming up in the church and, coming up in the Southern church and a lot of harmonies, man. A lot of mixed churches where it's like you hear a lot of different type of voices. You know what I'm saying? Like you might hear like the soulfulness of like the old black lady, or you might hear the technicality of the old white lady. And like I take all that and use all of it. So on that sample, that's actually me doing that. Man, I sing that.
And did you equalize it, or how did you?
Yeah. I don't like to tell how I do my samples, you know what I'm saying? Because I make it like I want to bring to the game. I want to be the guy that people come to do either sample recreation. They already have people like that, like Ken Lewis. He does Just Blaze and Kanye's, sample recreation. But I want to be the guy where you come to and you might have an idea and it might sound like it's from the 50s or the 60s or whenever, and you want to bring it to life, but you wanted to actually sound vintage like that. I want to be the guy that people come to for those type of beats. You know what I'm saying? Where they don't have to use a sample. We create our own samples. You know what I'm saying? So I did that throughout that whole album. So yeah, that was I really don't know where the inspiration for those words came from. I guess it was just, I don't know. Some of the best things in music just come to you.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. That sample in Reality of Jeron is almost like, to me, comparable to like the sample in Changes.
Wow. Thank you, man. That's big. That means a lot, man. It means a lot, man. And as far as like the singing on Ilmac's album, it's wild because I used to work with a whole production crew in like 2009 to 2011, Cafe Society. And we used to make beats together and we used to pitch them. So I came up with this beat idea. We wanted to pitch a beat to Game. So I was like, yo, I got a perfect beat for it in my head. So we went to Ken Lewis, the guy that I was telling you about. We went to him so he could play some guitar strums on it. And we can do a lot of vocal things. He had these singers with him. So I would do like a reference of what I wanted to be vocally, then the singers would like carry it out and make it, sound like what it's supposed to sound like. We finished the beat and somehow the beat just gets shelved. Like we don't do anything with it. We don't send it to Game, no nothing. So I put it up on my MySpace. This is how long ago it was. I put it on my MySpace at the time. And Ilmac hears it. Ilmac, yo, let me get that beat. As soon as my partner, who will remain nameless, the guy I used to work with the beats, I don't really fuck with him like that no more. As soon as he hears someone's interested in it, then he starts shopping it around. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of the things where somebody else, he has to hear somebody else thinks it's hot for him to think it's hot. So he starts shopping it around. Chris Webby actually uses my actual beat, and Ilmac is left with no beat. So I had to remake it, and I remade it and as close to the original as possible, but as different as it could be without switching up the vibe. So I didn't have the girls to sing in the backup for me, so I sang the hook. You know what I'm saying? I sang the hook and did the little voices in the background, all that. I did all that, man. And then Chase Moore did like some keys on the hook. You know what I'm saying? So it was a cool little joint, man.
And I've had Chase on too, and Chase's production is insane. Like that's what I spoke to him about. Is like Chase Moore to me is like, I listen to all his beats and all his and shit he does is insane to me. And
Chase is crazy.
It's such a funny thing that we speak about that too, right? You say it's like you were gonna make a song for the Game, and then Chris Webby picked out the one that your boy fucked you over on, and then you ended up in Portland. You know,
and
then what to me was cool is like, even though he's speaking about Portland, it's just like I Am the South to me. Is you take little snippets out of it and you represent wherever you are from as well. So
yeah.
On your hook when you're singing like this is our city, I'm in this small town in Ontario and I'm like, yeah, this is my city, man.
So yeah, on the original it was in Compton, the gangsters banging it. You know what I'm saying?
And then in Portland, I guess Portland goes a compliment. Could you do Ottawa?
I don't know. It probably, use my southern accent to make it work or something.
Another sad reality is when I used to listen to I Am the South, I'd turn it around and in my head I'd be thinking about the things in the North going on. And I changed it, I am the North, I am the North.
Nice. Somebody actually approached me about making a remix.
Well,
and
what's amazing too is with the reality of Jeron is you recorded the music video in Canada with I think a
yeah.
guy called like West Nile Effects or something like that.
Yeah. He been wanting to shoot that video for a while, man. And like he had hit me up before even the battle rap, thing popped off, before I had ever been involved in King of the Dot or any of that. He'd been hit me up like, if you're ever in Toronto, man, just shoot a video for Reality of Jeron, bro. So this was years in the making. That album came out in '08.
Oh, bro,
and
that's it. All I don't see for me, like I'm unaware of certain things, so I
right,
only knew that song
right,
from his YouTube channel. So
right,
that
right,
speaks
right.
volumes to him. Like shout outs to him for
Yeah.
knowing you enough to listen to that. Like that's so cool, man. And
Yeah. We did that video in 2013, man.
that's wild.
So
2013, you brought it up for me.
yeah,
ATLian Workshop. You guys had a
yeah,
couple. You guys had a couple bangers, man.
yeah,
And it was like a collective of bangers too. Reflect on your experience with that because I love it. You guys had an Australian chick go bar for bar with a bunch of dudes from the ATL. Like I listen sometimes. Like I'll listen to this Fuji songs, and I'll
right,
pretend. As a rapper or a fan of rap, you listen up, you pretend you're the person rapping.
right,
Sometimes I pretend I would be Lauryn Hill, even you know
right,
what I
right,
mean.
right, right,
So
right, right.
when I would listen to the ATL Workshop song with the Chelsea girl from Australia, I
Yeah.
pretend I was her on that verse
I
sometimes.
see, I see. Yeah, I mean, she's dope, man. She's dope as hell. She's actually one of the more natural sound. Like people think I'm a stickler for lyrics, but I'm really just about sounding good and doing whatever the beat tells you to do. You know what I'm saying? In your own way. And she does that masterfully. Like she sounds so natural. She sounds so good. Like her flow is silky and it lands exactly where it's supposed to land on the beat. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's unconventional at times. Dope as hell, man. The whole ATL workshop thing, I feel like it was Sonny's idea. It was either Sonny or Hemi's idea or their collective idea. Like we were always around each other, you know what I'm saying? And one of them, it was either Sonny or Hemi. I can't remember. They had the idea to just go ahead and make music out of it and turn it into something. Sonny's project released first when we became a band. What was it? Leprechaun Don. And then Hemi's joint came out. Then we dropped the ATL Workshop mixtape. Then I mean we were grinding, man. And we're still doing our thing. We just in different places now. Like literally, Hemi's in California now. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of difficult to work together as closely as we were. We were more like a vibe type group. You know what I'm saying? We get together, we're in everybody's crib has a studio. So we in somebody's crib and just got the idea to do a song. We just knock something out real quick. You know what I'm saying? Kind of difficult to do that over the internet, you know?
Well, and it's indented in time. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
there.
Right.
Like your Tim the Toolman Taylor bar is always going to be in my head.
Oh man, I forgot what was that bar. What do you?
It's something about Tim the Toolman Taylor because we can bring your home improvement.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what's up, man. I remember that. Yeah,
Oh, bro.
we was on our shit, bro.
Oh man, you always on your shit, bro. And like what was cool too, a grind time is like you had done WRCs and stuff, but grind time gave you a look right off the bat. Like I remember watching your battle versus Paperworks and then FLO, and I'm like, you got it. And that was when Ness was on his cowboy hat shit.
Yeah, man. I don't know where that became a thing. I have no idea, man.
Hey, Yosemite Ham.
Yosemite Ham, man. And those two things just kind of came together. I have no idea how it happened, man. Like I was wearing like gallon hats to my shows even before battle rap. You know what I'm saying? And
he was wearing gallon hats to his shows before battle rap. There's a bar.
Hey, I can't even help it. And so me, PH, rest in peace. Me, PH, DNA, Cortez, Saracana, my man Elite, drove down from New Jersey. I was staying in New Jersey at the time to Florida for Grizzlemania, the original one. And I ain't have anything to wear. And I saw this wild ass hat. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what I'm wearing. I'm gonna put that on and I'm gonna buy some cowboy looking shirt and some cowboy looking shorts, and that's gonna be my outfit, man. And for whatever reason, man, It wasn't a concerted thing. It's just, this is what I'm doing, man. This is
It
what I'm
worked
doing.
out. It worked out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
one battle, like, because I'm such a music fan, like people like please watch his battles, but like we haven't spoken a lot about them. But one in particular I want to speak about because we spoke about the guy you did the song with was
right.
you had a battle with Immaculate at Massacre of the Bay, and Massacre of
Yeah,
the Bay is one of the biggest battle events in history, and
right.
you guys were one of the battles in that event that got kicked off, or like it wasn't on the stage. You guys did it in like a parking garage or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so what was that experience for you when you'd come up, right? So you probably started doing it in alleyways and parking garages and whatever, and
Right,
then venues became a thing. And then you're
right,
at like the peak of battle rap at this point in 2010, and you guys are
right.
putting a parking garage. What was that battle like? Because it's one of my favorite battles in
Man,
history.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, that should put me in my element, man. Like
You killed it.
man,
You bodied it.
thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. I just remember hoping I get through my material because I had strep throat that weekend, man. That was one of the last times I had ever gotten sick as well. I don't know where it came from. I remember we got on the plane, me, Ron, Conceited, and throughout the whole plane ride, I could just feel just my throat just swelling up, man. So like I could barely talk. I got a fever of like 102. You know what I'm saying? They put me in a hotel room with A class. I'm coughing all over his luggage and shit, man. Like it was wild, man. I had to take Theraflu, like 2 packets of it just to even get through that battle. So that's why my voice was cracking at times and you could hear me straining to yell. But I was really just hoping I would get through it. But as far as the actual element of it in the background, that's where I come from, man. Like I remember going to a party in New Jersey. Where was it? Like in Trenton. And that was maybe 45 minutes away from where I stayed. And we didn't have enough gas money to get home, me and 2 other dudes. So I battled in the parking lot to get money to get back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember doing shit like that. I remember leaving my job where I used to wash buses in like '06 because somebody had a partner who said he could beat me in a battle. So I left work, you know what I'm saying? Not even on break. I left work, went to his neighborhood. His name was Trap. So I demanded that we battle on the on a Young Jeezy beat. You know what I'm saying? Just so I could have a whole bunch of trap flips killing him, taking I took his he had like a Nokia flip phone, you know what I'm saying, and going back to work, before my boss noticed I was even gone type shit, you know what I'm saying, because I'm working on overnight, so like I battling that parking lot, man, like that was my shit, man. That was one of my favorite. That was actually one of my favorite settings in any of my battles, man.
And that's one of the purest forms too. I'm such a big fan and advocate for battle rap, but as I spoke to you earlier about like the era I'm a fan of is what when King of the Dot was starting and beginning big and Grind Time was big and URL was becoming like a league after doing DVDs was like the pit format was the best format in the world. Once battle
Right.
rap started getting on stage and shit, like you wouldn't even want to watch the battles as a fan because the audio is all differentiated and it's just all fucked up. So like yeah, that's one of the purest forms. Actually, also shout out to Young Jeezy, man. If we're speaking about ATL and shit, like I'm talking about like My Hood and gangster
Yeah.
music and shit like that. That's the
Yeah.
Young Jeezy I know, bro. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
young
Yeah.
trap star shit is like I used to bump that in '07 heavy, bro.
Oh man, listen, man. I battled that kid over standing ovation. I remember that to this day, man. So
Wow.
that was one of my favorite battles I ever did. But
You ever have any run-ins with Young Jock?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I actually did a play with his wife, man.
Wow. Bro, it's that Shaq's third cousin. I've done a play with Young Jock.
Right. So I actually did a song in '07, '08, whenever it was. I think it was '07, called "I Ain't Gonna Buy You No Drinks." It was like a remix
I'm gonna
to
buy
the
you a
T-Pain
drink.
joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. And put a little lyric video to it online, and it did some numbers. So it got back to him, and he's like, "Yo, why you ain't ever put this out?" I was like, "Shit, I need help from you, man." And, we just laughing and shit, So, but yeah, it was. We had a cool little run in, man. We never did anything together, but that acknowledgement was dope. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, bro, that's crazy to me. And at that time too, like that in that era, to me, Young Jeezy was the South. And like
Yeah.
people know his new shit, but if you know like Thug Motivation 101 and shit, that is what I got on. You know, like that's my shit.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. That shit you couldn't ride around in '03 without hearing that shit blaring out. Speaking of any car, you know what I'm saying?
100%, man.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, you've been stumping me with these answers. I love it.
That's what's up, man.
Briefly before I speak on some other stuff, right now we're speaking in June 1st, 2021. How good do you feel about Atlanta in the playoffs right now? I mean, I know they're up. Are they up 2-1 or 3-1 to the Knicks?
Is it 2-1? Is it 2-1? Man, let me look. Let me look
I
at my phone right now.
Yeah, because I don't want to be inaccurate right now because I know they bodied them in Atlanta, and I don't know if they came back.
Hawks versus Knicks.
It is.
The Hawks will play the Knicks tomorrow.
3-1.
3-1. So tomorrow could be the last day for the Knicks.
That's crazy. That's crazy. First off, I'm extremely happy for Knick Nation, man. Like I'm super happy. They even been to the playoffs?
Well, dude, you're being a dick. You're happy for the one game that they won.
No. I'm happy they ain't even.
No, I'm fucking around. You know what's fucked up is that they were the only team I was rooting for at the beginning of the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm from Canada, bro. Toronto got knocked.
That makes sense. But I'm happy that they have something to actually, go home. It's like the same way I feel about the Hawks, man. Like I can go home and talk about these motherfuckers now, man. Like
Trae Young is talking that shit, and he is making a name for himself, man.
Yeah, man. Trae is here. He's in the building, man.
How does it feel? Because you guys had that Atlanta team where there was 4 All-Star players, but then they got beat by LeBron in the playoffs.
Right. I mean, it was LeBron, so I was, that's my favorite player of all time. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't be too mad at it. But I did want the Hawks to show, but now we got now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how far they're gonna go, but the fact that we're gonna win in the first round without getting knocked out, yeah. I'm happy about that, man. And Trae is showing out.
Everybody's killing it on your team, and I love it. The only thing that I have to say negatively is Danilo Gallinari's haircut.
Get that shit out of here, fam.
No, straight up. Especially with the team he's on. He's not Chris Anderson with Denver.
Shit, man. That's hilarious, man. One thing I ain't gonna lie, I'm mad about this. I didn't know about this, man. A Knick fan spit on Trae Young.
Did you see that?
About that?
I watched the video yesterday. And I didn't see my friend. Like I was with my friends and they were like, no, you see the spit, but I don't see who spit at him because everyone's wearing a mask, but he did get spit on.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, I'm happy that he held his composure and he, ended up just torching him for the rest of the game. But I'm not sure if I could have done that, fam. Like spit is assault in America. You know what I'm saying?
It's like
and we in the COVID era as well. Like, come on, fam.
Yeah, that's what's fucked up is the COVID era because
right.
But then apparently too, there's a whole controversy with somebody threw some shit at Kyrie last game too.
That was crazy. Like. Yeah. Okay, so he stomped on the Boston logo. Who did he touch physically?
Nobody. And he's a professional athlete, and you're paying to watch him play. Am I going to pay to watch somebody to throw something at them?
Right.
I'll heckle all day, but that's
right. Right. Yeah, you can scream whatever, but you throw a bottle at me, fam. I should have the right to come whoop your ass, man. I don't have the right putting hands on you.
One of my favorite podcasts, it's like a sports comedy podcast. They spoke about it. They said every team should be able to beat up one fan every month.
I mean,
it makes sense
that it comes to that, but yeah.
But if you watch Malice in the Palace, these guys got scrutinized and like their careers got reverted. Like Artest and Jackson would have had some of the best careers like in that era. And like because they beat up fans who fucked with them, they got suspended and their whole trajectory changed,
Right.
Sucks.
Yeah. But I mean, they did come away with some positives from that. Like
Artest won with the Lakers, and then Jack was on that Golden State team, my favorite Golden State team.
Right. Well, damn, what's the kid's name that looked like Cassidy, man?
Like Cassidy? Monte Ellis?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say Terry Rozier.
No. Terry Rozier looked like Keith Murray from back in the 90s.
Oh, that's true. Without the what's his song? What's his song that he's famous for?
The most beautifulest
Yeah,
thing.
the most beautifulest thing in this world. Oh, that was a whole debacle when that league in Atlanta. It was an Atlanta league that put on those battles, wasn't it? With Fredro Starr and Bone Crusher and Mike Jones, and that was a pay-per-view I shouldn't have spent money on, my friend.
Hey man, it is what it is, man. MC War is trash though, man. Like they were the first league ever. I will give them respect for that. Like they were the first league ever. When I said I was like out battling in like 02, it was with them. It was with them.
That's
like,
wild because I was just thinking you said that earlier. So they had a tenure, but no, I didn't know about them at all. You know,
because they so trash, man. They don't know how to do business, so they never really they can't stick to anyone's memory. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to do business at all.
Yeah, it was nice for Atlanta when John to Don started that league. And that put on for Atlanta too, like big. Like I was watching a lot of like Bricks Belvy battles and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Shout out Bricks, man. Shout out Punchline Champion, man. Yeah, that's my boy. That's my partner, man. Big shout out John, man. He really put on for the South.
He sure did, man. And that's a big thing too, as we were talking about how battle rap is so big with the internet. If you talk about the SONS crew, it's dudes from all over the country who came together through a message board. It's funny.
Man, listen, SONS crew is so fire, man, and what they did. It was so dope. And it's kind of hard to explain how they did it, man, because Conceited blew up that whole, like he blew up that whole movement, the jungle movement, just from battling on the street out there.
Bro, you speak about Arsenal getting flown out to Sweden just to be there. Conceited was being flown out to everything just to be there,
Right.
Like I spoke to Caustic a few weeks ago, and Caustic was like, "Oh, it was really cool because Conceited was at my first battle, and he gave me props."
Wow.
They're like, if you're talking about old grind time days, the Broward beatdown days when Conceited was standing next to Cap Callis. Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah, man. That I forgot that Conceited was the first dude to just be at every event, man. I for some reason in my mind, that person is Jazz the Rapper now. She is at every event, but it was Conceited first.
Well, bro, if you think about it, because if you want to think about a dude who used to do music with one of my favorite old battle rappers, 24/7, at the time, him and Caustic had like 5-0 records or something, and Broward Beatdown was going on. Same battle that Recognize, who with his only battle in written format ever, who was also on a show like you were back in the day with like Locksmith, who went on to be a thing. It's
the MTV battles,
bro. The world is such a crazy place, man.
Yeah, man. And it's like the more progress you make, the more the longer you are in your field, the more you're gonna meet, the smaller the world's gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Dude,
I'll tell you just from Facebook, like I don't even know this, but I can tell from interaction, is one of your favorite people from Canada is this guy named Hajrush Harshzi. Yeah. And even I'm watching your battle with Lo Pesci from World Domination 2, and he's in the background with you, and I see you talking to each other to this day, and that's it's crazy how battle rap is, bro. Like
that's my little bro, man.
That's your little bro, and dude, he was on Sway in the Morning back in the day.
I didn't even know Harsh was on Sway in the Morning. What?
So he was in a group, bro, before battle rap. So I all know all this because I was a huge nerd, but he was in a group before battle rap, and him and his group were on Sway in the Morning when it was still with the other guy. Like, when they did Sway in the Morning in LA before he moved on.
Sway and Tech.
Sway and Tech. And he was on Sway and Tech, and he freestyled.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I think I do remember that now. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy. Wow.
It's such a funny thing, man. Like I interviewed Kid Twist the other day, and he was like, "Man, how do you know this kind of stuff?" And I was like, "It's okay, man. Like, I was at home a lot when I was a teenager."
And you might need to be the battle rap Nardwar, man.
Well, that's what he said. You Nardwar me. He's like, I talked about an event he rapped at when he was 17. He's like, who told you about this?
That's crazy.
Well, it's same as you, bro. Like I'm talking about like all the Oxenfree, and I also hit you up back in the day about the game when you were on the NBA video.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And I did a project on you in college. I never messaged you about it, but like if you look at our old messages, I messaged you about a project in college I was doing on you.
What? My memory must be terrible, man. That is wild.
It's the only. I think it's the only way I'm getting these interviews, bro. Is like I'm kind of scared of this kid, but he might say something about me if I don't do it.
Nah, man. Nah, man. That is crazy though, man. Shout out Kid Twist too, man. Kid Twist is one of my favorites.
he wrote the battle rap movie, but I don't know if you know, he has a show on Netflix called Yasuke. It's an anime, and it's number
That's
7.
him?
He wrote that.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Like, I see random people on my timeline talking about this shit, like people who aren't into battle rap, bro.
I had to ask my boy who's into anime. I was like, "Have you heard of this?" He's like, "Yeah, why?" I was like, "Because I interviewed a guy who wrote it." He's like, "What are you talking about?"
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
Or just his story too. With Joseph Kahn just messaged him and be like, "I think your story in battle rap school to talk about," and he was like, "I don't want to do another battle rap movie about a white guy." And Joseph Kahn was like, "Yeah, but it's good in this perspective." But yeah, man, it's wild.
Damn,
bro.
that's crazy.
It's wild, man. Yeah.
Sheesh, Yasuke. I did not know he wrote that, man.
That's him. And then other than that, Ness, it's all African American creators other than him. So the animator, the head animator is an African American guy. And the other writer other than and Twist so he was promoting that too, because he's like, I hate being the white guy at rap, you know. But yeah, man, it's very cool. And the show is very cool too. It's about an African samurai in Japan, and it's actually based on a real story.
Really?
Yes, it's the first ever African samurai in Japan from back in the day.
So I've seen, like, bits and pieces of people talking about what it's about. So I guess I did kind of pull that from it, but I had no idea it was tied to battle rap, bro.
It's wild, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Battle rap ruined my life. Shout out to Don't Flop.
Shout out man. Shout out man. Yo, what the fuck is an What? You my dog, but what is an bro? I need to know, man. Like, the streets.
I don't know, bro. All I'll tell you is when I was doing rap, when I was battle rapping in 2010 and trying to be a battle rapper, I had a line that said, "I'm the white Obi Trice mixed with Rowan Fife."
Ooh. That's hard, though. Hard.
I thought it was hella. Nobody understood what I was talking about at the event in small town Canada. Who's Rowan Fife and who's Obi Trice?
Damn, they don't know Obi Trice. That's wild,
bro. Real name, no gimmicks. Come on, man.
Right. Yeah, man. Obi was nice, man.
He was big, man.
They used to say I used to rap. They used to say I sounded like him, like my voice. They said our voices were similar.
Oh, I used to love his shit, man. I used to listen to Obi Trice, Royce da 5'9", and Andre 3000 when I was like 10 years old.
Yeesh, you had a great ear for music at 10 years old, bro.
I'm just lucky for the brothers I had, man. Like, my brother put me on to MF Doom when I was young. Shit, like I was heavy into shit when I was young. I was listening to like Heart of the City and knowing that Kanye produced it and shit like that when I was young. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's all about luck, man. It's all about luck in this world that we have, you know. Like, if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't have listened to Bob Marley and be big into lyricism at a young age with redemption songs and shit like that, you know. Like, it's all puts itself together, man. And that's why I have you on and what you inspired me to do. I don't want to. I'm keep rambling on, but like, let's. What do you have to plug for yourself? Like right now, so Ness was in the Grand Prix in King of the Dot, and he did battle A Ward. I think he won. Right. I think he won, but that's,
it's wild, man. I didn't really want to know much about that battle because, I was going through a few things at that time, man. I didn't really put it out there at the time, but it was COVID had ravaged my family. You know what I'm saying? Everybody I was around got it. My sister and I have a house together. My sister got it. She was down bad. My mother and my father, they live across town. They got it. I almost killed my father. It did kill my sister's birth father. Everybody at my job got it. So I was dealing with all that while I was preparing for this battle. So I'm put out a post where I say I don't really want anybody to talk to me about this battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still a rapper. I'm still competitive, and I'm feeling like all I can think about when I'm rapping is everything that's going on. So all I think is I think I did bad. You know what I'm saying? So I never watched it. So I'm getting messages from people like, "Yo, man, I know you don't really want to know too much about that battle. Or I know you don't want too many people to. I know you don't want people to bring up that battle, but go look at the comments." And after like the 10th time somebody sent me a message saying that, man, I went and looked at it and it's overwhelming. Like everybody's like, "Yo, what are y'all talking about? Ness Lee won." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's crazy." I still didn't watch the battle. But people are saying, the majority of the people saying I won that shit, man. But I still if I were to do another battle again, it would be versus A Ward, so I can give him my full attention. He deserves that shit. A Ward is a monster out here. You know what I'm saying?
And he turned what people used to have as like a bad stereotype on Christian rappers of like Mr. Biscuit and that weird dude 3PFD and shit. But like, sorry. I'm just, shout out to No Coast. But
shout out No Coast.
But yeah, bro, no, he brought like an actual realness to it. But I just want to say, man, condolences to anybody around you that it was affected by it and everything. And all I want to say, Ness, is no matter what you think of yourself, because you're such an amazing artist and your own worst critic, is you are indented in history in
Thank you,
rap and hip hop. And no matter what you think or do or say within the future, we just always know that I'll be thinking about bars from Reality of Jeron, or I'll be thinking of the snippets in the samples, and I'll be thinking of the ending of I Am the South, and I'll be promoting that shit till I'm dead too, man. Like that's like,
oh man, that means a lot. That means more than you know, bro. Like that means so much, man. And I can't just let you skip by Mr. Biscuit. Mr. Biscuit is fire.
Yo, sorry, I was setting him up to make fun of the other guy.
Right. No, I just got to put that out there, man. Mr. Biscuit is fire, and I'm so happy he's finally getting his just due.
Well, and you know what? He's like one of those guys like Dallas Cash. He used to get hit on. Because Dallas Cash used to be a guy who was in No Coast, and you have this certain like identity of, if you're in No Coast, you're a backpacker and shit like that, So it's cool that dudes like that who were before their time, because they understood where battle rap was going, kind of thing. You know?
Right. Yeah,
and you're a student of the game too. You can tell, like,
absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to Dallas Cash as well, man. As far as what do I have to promote, I'm finally gonna put out a project after. What, 13 years? Yeah.
Yes. Years. Let's go.
Yeah. So I'm dropping it hook or crook on my birth month, September, man. You know,
all right. We'll keep,
regardless of whether I feel like I'm done or not, I'm dropping it.
We'll keep a lookout for that. And you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you on for another episode before you release that, closer to the date, and we're gonna promote that shit, man.
Okay, salute. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
Hey, my guy, I just want to thank you so much, man. And like, just like, I've been a fan for you forever, and I'm gonna be a fan of you. And like, the shit that you did, like, has affected me and helped me through life and stuff.
Wow, man. I
mean, that's, man.
You can't ask for anything more than that as an artist, man. That's really, And oddly enough, my real name is The Artist. My first name is The Artist Jeron Thomas.
Wow. Well, there you go, man. And like, that's kind of why I tried to focus more on the music aspect, because you are a battle rapper, and this is a battle rap based podcast where I have a lot of them on, but I try to speak about who they are outside of it as well. And I think your music speaks volumes,
Thank you.
And who you are as a person speaks volumes. So other than that, anything else you want to plug before we sign off for the episode, man?
Let me see. What else do I got?
Well, look out for Atlanta in round 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Just look out for the project, man. Certainly you did not expect this. I don't know if it's gonna be certainly you didn't expect this, or certainly you did not expect this. I wanted to sound kind of bougie, you know what I'm saying, but like hood at the same time. Like I snuck out of nowhere with like my hand on the pistol, but my pinky is out or something. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. But yeah, certainly you didn't expect this.
He's respectfully shooting you guys.
Like right.
Shooting you guys.
Facts with class.
Hey, shout out, man. Yo, thank you so much for the listeners. Next week we have on Madness from Florida. Thanks for listening. Appreciate y'all. And I'm gonna sign off for this episode and keep Ness on the call to say thank you. But thanks y'all for listening. Appreciate the support. Share it. Love y'all. Thank you.